Now I want to get into something, Cardiff. This may be a little sensitive to you. If you want to step out for this, feel free. If you're under some contractual obligation, I know that Carl runs things with a pretty tight fist over there at WATP, and he's forced.
All right.
I know he's forced you to make certain games that make it seem like you don't respect Tom Myers. But I wanted to just take a brief segment to acknowledge that there's a new game in town. There's a new sheriff in town. And he's not taking Carl's crap anymore. And I appreciate that. So Tom Myers has been live streaming. And we haven't really checked in on it, but I know for a fact that there's a guy in Rochester, or dare I say a lady, quaking in her boots right now. Because Tom Myers is coming for everyone.
Hold on. I think the first time I saw, you're talking about the morning show?
Yes.
The Tom Myers morning show?
Yeah.
I believe the first message I sent to Carl about this was, Tom Myers' morning grift is like the $6 million man. He took Kevin's format, Chad's clever commentary, Stalin 19's clips, and John's neighbor's Wi-Fi. He's the $6 million man of podcasting.
I think I see what you're saying. If I can decipher all of that,
please. Yes.
I think what you're saying is that comedic greats all have influences. We talk about this on Why You Laughing all the time, where comedians that are successful now, you can kind of boil it down to, hey, they have a little influence from Richard Pryor or Brian Regan or Dave Attell or whoever. The little dashes, you can tell who they grew up watching based on their current voice. And I think that's what you're saying about Tom Myers, is he watched some of the greats, took a little from each, and was able to improve on all of those. Am I picking up what you're throwing out there?
I would like you to expand on your definition of improve, but sure.
Enhance, change in an interesting way.
Well,
am I wrong about that?
Well, you're not right.
Well, let's see. I'm going to work to convince you of this. I think you're under that WATP spell that I've been able to break out of.
You know what? You turned me on to Joe Matarese when Carl wasn't able to.
Mm-hmm.
Like Carl, every time I go to Rochester, he would show me pictures of Joe Matarese and play with my nipples, trying to get me erect. But you, in 5 minutes, you're like, hey, I get this Joe Matarese guy. You showed me the light, so maybe you can show me the light with Tom Myers.
I hope I can do that. I just wanted to check in briefly. We're not going to spend too much time on my buddy Tom. But I just wanted to promote that he's doing a show, and it is, unlike Cardiff's trying to portray something because of what his bosses tell him to do. But I think it's a very new and interesting idea. So let's talk a little about Tom Myers here.
Let's do it.
No one outed me for being a rapist.
Nope, sorry.
What the hell? That's the wrong clip, I think.
Yeah, he has the streaming bug, Mike.
He certainly does.
I feel content doing what I'm doing for now. Mike, and listen, am I like the greatest live streamer in the world right now? No. I'm just.
And I disagree, but it's nice that he's humble. Like, it's nice to go into this humbles because so many people are taken by ego. You hear John and Kevin Brennan, these types. For Tom to kind of come at it with humility and say, listen, I'm not the greatest, but I'm working at it. I think that's something.
The one of my favorite words over the last few weeks, Blind Mike, that I can't use in this case unless I say the one thing blind Tom Myers doesn't suffer from is hubris.
Yes,
hubris.
There you go. Yeah.
This just started off as just a little bullshit birthday stream that I did.
That's right.
Driving to my local casino to celebrate my birthday. And then
alone.
I started streaming from the hotel when I had to evacuate after a windstorm, and then the bug just got me. So I started doing this.
So
he's been bitten by the bug.
An origin story.
You got to dig a little deeper there, Blind Mike. The obviously the casino that he was at was a teepee, and they had to evacuate due to a windstorm.
He's one of these guys. Tom Myers lives by the seat of his pants, and he's one of these road comics that always has crazy stories. And no matter how successful he is, he's one of these guys that's kind of reached a certain level of being established, and he has a certain audience that has been around for a number of years. But you're still like, man, this guy can't get it together. And I think that's what makes him appealing to so many people is even though he's been in comedy for as long as he has, he still feels like one of us.
That's true.
And then I started reacting to stuff, and that culminated into my commenting on Steel Toes show and trolling him, which is easy because he says a lot of shit that's I just don't agree with, and is just pretty goddamn stupid.
Yeah, so he's been bitten by the streaming bug. Like there's a guy, for many years he bashed it, and I think that's big of him to acknowledge, like, hey, I criticized all these guys for doing it, but when I saw there was a few dollars in it, I started doing exactly that. And I think that's bold of him to admit that. A lot of people would kind of run and hide from it, but Tom is forthright in saying, I was critical of this for a long time, but when I saw there was money to be made, I started doing.
It's honesty.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit for honesty.
Thank you.
Yeah. The most honest podcast.
Yes. Real. Above all else, he's real.
He is real.
Gets you nothing. Myersverse is the next one.
So this is where things are like Tom's different than a lot of the other shows. So when you're watching Tom, it's not the Dabbleverse. It's not the Steel Toe verse. You're entering the Myersverse, a wholly unique world that Tom has created, and he'll explain that to us and why it's so different.
So, and I became the subject of a couple of podcasts I noticed that night. Patrick Melton finally covered me, which was interesting.
Finally, like it was inevitable.
It was only a matter of time before that guy. I mean, that guy. I got to tell you something. He's going to go for the low hanging fruit, you know. Like, and that's something I don't really respect. We here, much like Tom, we don't talk about the same 8 people everyone else talks about. You know, like me and Tom will talk about like Patrick Melton, and I think that makes us stand out from everyone else.
And I watched his critique of my stream, and like I really can't take any of Patrick Melton's critiques seriously.
Nor should you, Tommy.
Just because, like, that's pretty much the whole basis of his show. Is just watching other shows. Like I try and do something a little bit different here. Like I try and just have content other than what's going on in the Dabbleverse, the Hackverse, the Shitverse.
Now hold on. If you could pause it.
Yeah.
Didn't he intro this by saying he watches Steel Toe clips?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Oh, so he does it different though.
Oh, it's totally different. So like on this is Friday's show.
Please explain, Mike. Please.
This is Friday's show, and he for the entire time talked about Aaron Imholt. And what was interesting is like he played clips of Aaron and he reacted to them and added commentary. And so that was Tom's show. I think it's. Are you seeing other people doing that?
No.
Recently?
Yeah.
I mean, no, not since the 90s.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, it is in a way sort of retro, and I think Tom would say he's paying homage to guys like Howard Stern, maybe, but no one else is really. It's untread upon ground that Tom is doing, and I think that's pretty interesting. Like he's kind of created his own niche of the Dabbleverse. Like if you want to see these shows that talk about the same bullshit all the time, like go watch WATP, quite frankly. But if you want to see someone talk about something like Aaron Imholt, go watch Tom Myers, and I'm genuinely recommending that.
And Patrick Melton, for a while, all he did was just stream snipe Chad's show in the morning.
You're not doing
in the
that.
morning. Feels like the morning to me because that's when I used to get up regularly. But he would just stream snipe Chad's show and just leave it on.
Living a life.
So like, Patrick Melton really doesn't have any content. So his,
I mean, this guy. If I could just add on to what Tom's saying, this guy Patrick Melton was yelling at an orange last week. Do you know what a mental patient you would have to be to spend 30 or 40 minutes of your show screaming at a guy in an orange filter? Like that's mental illness.
Demented.
Yes. So I'm glad Tom is so much different from these other shows because he doesn't get into those muddy waters.
his analysis isn't really worth covering because I don't want to bore your brain cells more than I already have. And then So, and then WATP covered me. That video isn't online yet. I just happened to check their website, what episodes they put out.
And that's the thing. And I've told Carl not to do this, and he doesn't listen to me. And it's pretty fucking annoying, if you ask me. I say, Carl, put your episodes online. And he says, I won't. I'll only put them on my website.
Yes.
It's very frustrating because I say, no, Carl, they need to be online. And he says, no, I'm not into this online niche.
Has Carl talked about the mail order catalog he's working on?
Yes. He sequesters
You get 10
all these
you get 10 episodes for a penny.
Yeah.
And then you get one episode every month in the mail.
We'll talk after. I know a good way to work around that system. You actually end up making money off of that.
Oh, good.
But yeah, he doesn't put his episodes online. He just puts them on his website, which is a totally different. He uses Web3 for that, I believe. And it's very like people don't really have it. But the other thing I want to pay attention to there is Carl will make fun of Tom for doing these streams, and he'll be like, "Oh, he's like all these other guys that stream." And what you're hearing Tom say there, I think, is very true. Carl made him do this. You know, Carl sucked him into this web. And Tom said, all right, motherfucker, you want to play ball? Let's play ball. I hope you brought your glove because Tom is a pro. You know, Tom's not playing any of that little kid shit. He's not playing Little League here. This is the New York Yankees that Carl is dealing with, and I'm not sure he's prepared for it.
I mean, he's wearing an Orioles jersey, so I'd assume he's...
I'm sorry, the Orioles. I think they were better than the Yankees this year.
The worst jersey in baseball. That's a fact check.
No, the Yankees made it to the World Series. What a terrible fan I am. I forgot that they were in the World Series.
The Orioles had a great season.
They were okay.
Arizona Diamondbacks, worse uniform.
Oh, they covered my stream, but it's basically just the same thing. It's just they're gonna look to shit on me just for the sole purpose of shitting on me, which is fine.
And that's what I want to say is like that is what Carl does, and it's like we got it, man. You think you're better than these people? What Tom is doing on his stream is he's playing clips of Steel Toe, and he's commenting on them in kind of a critical way. Like he's taking clips of Aaron and critiquing them. You know, like saying this is what Aaron could be doing better. This is mockable what Aaron did. What Carl does is just hateful, and it's frankly gross at this point. You know, and it's been done to death. What Tom is doing, I think, is so unique and different, and it's revolutionary, which is why I wanted to promote people watch these streams. I think he does them on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yes.
So check these out because it's a totally different taste, and like, you know,
Tuesdays and Thursdays are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday is recovery days.
And we're gonna show how much people are kind of ripping off Tom already. We have like an hour and a half Steel Toe segment planned because Tom has opened the door to that type of stuff happening. Before, no one was really talking about Aaron Imholt, and now you kind of see a lot of people copying that.
You know, I might just start stream sniping these episodes. They're that good.
It is. It's something, and you know what I think will happen is a lot of people will end up watching your show because Tom is so entertaining, and I think that's often what happens with some of these innovative guys.
Mike, this next one's called Sucked In.
We already mentioned it a little bit, but it was unfair. Carl was begging Tom, come into the Dabbleverse. Talk about the Dabbleverse. Please, we need you in the Dabbleverse. And then when Tom steps in the Dabbleverse, Carl runs and hides and shits on him for it.
Like he always does.
That's right.
That's the criticism that people have of me. They say, "Oh, Tom's trying to shoehorn his way into the Dabbleverse. It's sad. No. It's pathetic." I'm like, that could be nothing could be further from the truth.
Absolutely.
Like I got sucked into this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really
he
go
makes
out.
It sound like he's preparing coffees at his barista job, and the lineup is a buzz about Tom's entry. Hey, Tom, you're going into the Dabbleverse. I hear you're dipping your toe into the Dabbleverse.
That's if I hear Lady K say to me one more time, how do we get Tom talking more about us? I'm like, I don't know, Carl, do your own show, you know? Like it was really gross that they were begging Tom over and over again to get into this world. And then when he does it, they shit on him for it. There's no way this guy wins.
Seeking rivalries. Like I'll admit, I'll go ahead and troll people. Just if I think something's funny,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like I get sucked into this world. I'm like an unwilling. I feel like I'm an unwilling.
He's being raped, frankly. He's being raped against his will by Lady K. And I'm here to say, Team Tom. I don't know
No
what
one
he
outed
said.
me for being a rapist.
I think Mike just did.
I didn't even put that together. Yeah, he's already addressed it, apparently.
This one's called No Deleting.
Oh, well, this is good. This is so people have been saying that Tom's deleting old stand-up clips because people like Cardiff, by the way, you're probably part of the problem here now that I think about it.
Tom.
People like Cardiff are looking at Tom's old stand-up clips and they're doing something very unfair. They're taking them, years later. Like Tom's killing in the room, and then years later we're being like, "Oh, this bit is out of date" or whatever. And I really don't think it's fair. And Tom realizes it's not fair. So here he is clearing up. I think Aaron is the one who said, like, "Oh, Tom's deleting videos." Tom's here to clear that up. So let's make no mistake about it.
Well, look, that's from my show. That's from an excerpt from a show that I did. That's from a clean show I did. That's why the video is only like 30 seconds long, because I can't do clean shit because like it sucks.
Once
and I don't
they
enjoy
cut
it,
out
but
all the cuss words, there's nothing left.
He's a bad boy. Like, you can't contain Tom Myers. If you play a Tom Myers clip and try to clean it up for TV or radio, I got news for you. You got dead air. Like, I don't know what to tell you, because much like Craig, people just can't. It would piss everyone off if you went. I've seen Tom Myers live, and luckily I have a fairly strong stomach for this sort of stuff. I have a high tolerance for edge. So I was able to take it, but a lot of the people were outraged at what they were seeing.
But Craig is a bridge too far.
Craig's a little much. Yeah.
Okay.
Dat Fan was outraged for other reasons. Though.
He certainly was, yes.
Aaron, I have not been deleting my clips. Do I go ahead and clean up my channel? Yeah. Is there some stuff on there that I think, maybe it's not good? I'll go ahead and take it down. Absolutely. Do I make some stuff private? Do I have someone listed?
No, go back.
What?
He's not deleting video. What don't you get about this?
He's doing housekeeping.
That's right. He's not deleting videos. Is he tidying up some odds and ends? Is he removing content so that it's not there anymore? Sure. But he's not deleting videos like some asshole. So for guys like Aaron to just throw that out there, I think it's slanderous. Like, I don't know if Tom has any legal recourse here. Maybe not, because Aaron could claim, parody and that sort of thing. The coward's way out. But I think there's cause for a lawsuit here, because people are saying Tom's deleting videos, and he explains, like, is he doing some spring cleaning, a little dusting? Sure, but there's no deleting going on here. Let me hear that again.
A little Swiffer.
I heard this, Mike, and that's when I texted you. I've never heard anyone more Michael Scott than this guy. This is a statement. If you imagine Michael Scott,
do you mean hilarious? Yes, one of the best characters of all time. Absolutely.
And if you notice though too, his search for that video was Tom Myers August 2021. I think like he had a very specific search that he put into Google.
That's when
to bring up those videos.
That's when he was at his best. We all remember the summer of 21, and that's a Myers summer, I like to call it.
That's why the video is only like 30 seconds long, because I can't do clean shit because like it sucks and I don't enjoy it. But Aaron, I have not been deleting my clips.
No.
Do I go ahead and clean up my channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there some stuff on there that I think, maybe it's not good? I'll go ahead and take it down.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Do I make some stuff private? Do I have some unlisted
Yes.
stuff up there? Because if I want to go online, do I want to go ahead and listen to something, a new bit that I'm working on?
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But it's like, I don't delete stuff because like people are out there
hold
looking
on.
for
So
it.
if he has a new bit that he's working on,
Uh-huh.
the place for him to find it to review it, again, the bit that he's working on
Right.
is on his YouTube channel.
Correct.
So he wait. It's a work in progress on his YouTube. Like, so when it's a finalized joke, then he takes it down. Is that how this works?
Exactly.
We get
Yes.
to see
Right. And
behind
it's
them. Got it.
frankly wrong of people like you and Lady K to sneak onto his YouTube channel and surreptitiously steal things. I think it's theft. Steal things that he's working on and just play them on your shows and mock them. Like, sure, could you go to open mics and be like, this guy's a fucking asshole? Well, those are young comics that are developing. That's what Tom is doing. Page to stage, my friend. And for you guys to just go on his YouTube channel like it's some thrift store that you're sifting through, it's wrong. And so is he deleting videos? No. He's cleaning them up. He's making them private or just taking them down. He's not deleting them. Where are you getting that idea?
I would pay $1,000 for his unlisted videos. For every single one of his unlisted and private videos.
Maybe we can talk. Tom, if you're willing to talk, I've got you a nice offer here.
Cardiff, have you ever noticed anyone's head do this thing with the green screen? I've never seen anyone. I've never seen it before. It's like his hair is so fuzzy, Mike, that the green screen goes around his head like a giant halo.
Well, it's Andy Kaufman-esque. You know, like Andy did the bit with the desk much higher than his guest, that sort of thing. And I think that's what Tom is doing with his new talk shows. He's playing with the format a little bit. Like there are a lot of shows that use green screens the way they're supposed to be used, you know, just boring. And Tom's seeing that and he's saying, well, what can I do with it to put the Myers stamp on it?
I don't. If anything, I oversaturate myself. I oversaturate YouTube with everything.
Yes. There's too much Myers out there.
That's what I say.
There probably is.
Said that for years. And that is
this
Tom Myers.
This is a guy who has put out countless comedy albums and he's put out all sorts of content. Why is he going to delete his videos? You know, like, does he polish them up once in a while? Sure, but he's not deleting anything. That's important.
Now, Mike, I know you told me at the beginning of the show not to look at the port chat, but I have to because Cardiff's Kids is describing the green screen effect perfectly as the Mr. Burns radiation alien effect.
You know what? Cardiff's Kids might have been in Tom's chat because I heard him address a similar. He's like, "Oh, you're doing that thing where you make fun of me for looking like Mr. Burns."
Perfect.
Also, I wanted to promote that because, you know, I hear you guys speaking nasty of my friend Tom, and Tom also invited himself on this show. He had a date. He had a certain date that he was able to do it by, and I apologize to Tom. I'm just bad with getting back to people with that stuff. So I got lazy and forgot. Tom, I'm sorry. We'll get you on at some point in the future if you have other dates that can work. But I know he gave me a specific date that I missed and I fucked up. So I wanted to take a chance to at least promote my buddy and say this is what he's doing 3 times a week. That is really unique and interesting.
I just have a feeling at your year-end review of comedy specials, which you do every year on Why You Laughing.
I do, yes.
I have a feeling Tom is going to be top 3 this year.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I hope he puts out another round. It's been a while since Make America Innate Again. We've been innate for about a decade now.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Kragers did it.